For most people, going into a prison is not exactly on their bucket list. But all around the country, every weekend, groups of men and women do just that with an organization called the Saints Prison Ministry. But their visit is a little more involved than you might think. In 1987, the Saints started out with a mission to reach prisoners by combining arguably two of the most influential forces in our world, faith and sports. One softball team based in New Jersey has now grown into 12 teams around the country, playing a variety of sports in more than 120 prisons a year, giving them the opportunity to share the love of Christ with the inmates.
Sports is a great equalizer, and it really is something that everybody, whether you admit to being a sports fan or not, everybody's touched by it. In the prison, you have a whole lot of frustrated athletes. They're dying to compete against anybody but themselves. They play against each other day in and day out for years on end, and if there's an opportunity to compare themselves to outside competition, they're just jumping at it. And that's really the reason we use sports. It's not for the game itself.
Just being in the yard can be a big enough accomplishment, but for the Saints to complete their real mission, they must also earn the respect of the inmates.
I don't think you gain their respect by working hard to relate to them. Inmates can see through a phony. And I think the way we earn their respect is by being transparent and being honest. By going in there, competing hard, treating them like men. Too often they're treated like a number or a statistic, and they're told every day what to do, where to do it, when to do it, who to do it with, how long you're going to do it. When they get out in the yard, they get to choose what they're going to do. Probably the greatest compliment I get at the end of the day is when an inmate will come up and say, "You know, for the last 3 hours you made me forget I was in prison." That's when I know that he's willing to listen to what I have to say.
Once the Saints earn that respect, it doesn't take long for the inmates to warm up to them. For many, the time that the Saints are around provides a rare moment to feel free.
We love when the Saints come because they give us a peace of mind and we just feel free at that moment. Soon they come in the gates, we just be smiling.
I love it. Joining together in prayer. You know, it just gives you a chance to see each other, embrace one another, you know, all within love.
When the games are over, some of the Saints share their testimony of faith, while others simply spend time getting to know the inmates.
By the time we get to our gospel presentation, the inmate population has sensed there's something different about these guys. There's something real here, and we need to find out what it is. And I think that is what creates the best opportunities for us.
God commanded us to go and share the gospel. And we love to share the Christ with these men, and we love to see the men respond. We love to see the appreciation on their face and the smile on their face, you know, just because we came in and spent some time with them and shared with them what's important.
The biggest message we want them to hear is that we love them, and more importantly, God loves them. And then I also challenge them, you know, in the area that, you know, truth has been shared with them, and now that truth calls for a decision, and they can't remain neutral on that decision. They either have to say yes to Christ or they're going to reject Christ. They cannot remain neutral on it.
Rehabilitation is a popular word when you talk about the correction system. The Saints, however, prefer a different word, regeneration. The Saints are invested in the long-term change that Christ can make in the lives of the prisoners they meet.
If you teach an inmate electrical skills, you have a very qualified electrical criminal. If you teach them Jesus Christ, you have someone who's now changed from the inside out. They have a different reason for what they're doing. They have a different motivation for getting up in the morning, and they have a different purpose in their life. And it no longer is about what they need, it's about what Christ needs from them. And it just changes everything. It changes why they want to be fathers. It changes their view as being a father, as being a husband, as being a member of society.
All thanks to the Saints and their obedience to a calling that has no walls.